in Texas and everything's bigger in Donald Trump's America, so let's just start there. Wow, look at this. Well, welcome to Texas. I hope you're enjoying our heat. It's what I call weather, or as the liberals call it, climate change. So I hope you're enjoying it. I know that living in Texas, I have enjoyed it. It's more friendly territory around here, I found. I just actually got back from Los Angeles last night. Not as friendly there. Not quite. But you know, there are more of us than we even realize. But I gotta tell you, now if I were a liberal, I probably wouldn't be wearing this, but second of all, if I were a liberal, I would probably tell you guys that, you know, it's just so hard to be a woman. I would come out here and say it's so rough for us, like we're all victims, like you're a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim. But I'm not a liberal, but I do have to tell you, it is kind of hard to be a conservative woman. It's hard to be a conservative in general. I think we were just reminded of that yesterday and horrified by it yesterday. It is definitely hard to be a conservative sometimes, and I hear from young women all the time that that is one of the most difficult things to be, is a conservative. But I'll tell you what makes it a little bit easier. 3 things, and I want you to remember these, and I want you to remember every time things get a little bit difficult. Number 1, you live in the greatest nation on the face of the earth. There is no better place to be a woman than the United States of America. Someone tell Katy Perry. That whole open borders coexist. When she performs in Syria, then we can have that discussion. But as long as she's performing in the United States or she's surrounded by armed bodyguards, I don't think she can really speak to that. But beyond that, number 1, you live in the greatest nation on the face of the earth, and you're in one of the greatest states on the face of the earth. So there's that. Number 2, this is an important one. Donald Trump is your president. Number 3, now this one might be even more important. Hillary Clinton is not. You know, I heard so many stories actually from some of the folks that I met at ABC, and they're good people. You know, they came and they do some interviews with me, and we spend a lot of time together, and, you know, they end up kind of liking me at the end of it. And then, you know, of course, they've got to put in, like, controversial, white power Barbie, you know, firebrand. It's like, okay, we get it. But, you know, the folks at ABC, I spoke to them after the election, and I was in triumph. I was like, this is great. We got a great president. And they said, you know, the thing that I worry about most is that I have to tell my daughters that, you know, it wasn't just their time, you know, that a woman was not elected. And I say, yeah, I see it a little bit differently, because, you know, the first female president, that's a big deal for all of us. I'd rather it not be Hillary Clinton. I'd rather it not be a liar. I'd rather it not be a crook. Hun, we don't need to lock her up. She's in Whole Foods. She's hiking through the woods. Let her be. Let her be. And then every once in a while, she pops up to blame people. But that's it. You know, the funny thing about Hillary is the queen of sorry, not sorry. It's always like, I'm really sorry about Benghazi. But you know what? Not really. I didn't really have anything to do with it. I was in charge. You know, I'm ultimately responsible. But really, it was everyone else. Not really so much me. So sorry, but not sorry. She has a way of transferring everything over to everyone else. But, you know, it's a skill, and it's a skill that she will use to do something. I don't know. Hey, but I can't talk. I'm unemployed too. So Hillary and I are in the same boat. That's all right. Sometimes you got to stand up for what you believe in. But that's another thing that I want to talk to you guys about today, because we're all conservatives in this room. Some of us are libertarians, but more than that, yeah. More than that, though, we're independent and we're free thinkers. And because we're women, because we're strong, and because we have strength of character and we're also intellectual, we can decide for ourselves what we believe. Now, I believe that conservative values and principles serve us best. I believe in the tenets of conservatism. I believe in our values. I believe in faith, family, and freedom. But I challenge all of you to take things issue by issue. And don't just listen to what they say on Fox News. Don't just listen to what you hear in my final thoughts. Decide for yourself, because you're smart enough to do that. You really are. And that's the thing about conservatives, is we're not threatened by independent thinkers, or we shouldn't be. And the day that we are threatened by independent thinkers is the day our party is going to collapse. Because we stand with the values that we know are the most important. We stand for the values that we can back up each and every day. So it's okay. We can have an influx of information. We don't have to shut it down. We don't have to have free speech zones. We don't have to have censorship on our words. We don't have to have algorithms on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube to filter everything out, because we can stand here and say our thoughts will trump your thoughts. Yes, that was a pun. So we have to be free and independent thinkers. So I would encourage you all to do that and stand up for what you believe in, because it's worth it every single time. But as I look out, I see a lot of heads. I don't see any pink pussy hats. I saw a few in LA. I saw a few, of course, in DC. I mean, I have never seen a scene like that, the Women's March, but they were so proud of what they did. You know what? Guess what? They amassed huge numbers. They really did. You got to give it to them. And they were so proud of all the numbers that they had. They were nasty women. They were so excited. And I'll give it to them. They had a lot of numbers, and they had a great march. But what I think is funny is that we had a march of our own, and our march didn't happen that day. But our march happened on November 8th, 2016, and we marched into the voting booth with a hat, without a hat. It didn't really matter. We marched. So I think that's what's most important. You don't have to be a Donald Trump fan. That's another thing. If you're not a Trump fan, if you like Ted Cruz, if you like Marco Rubio, if you like Rand Paul, that's fine. You don't have to be a Trump fan. Be an independent thinker and stand up for yourself. Now, I'm going to take some questions because I love to do that. But before that, I just want to remind you that empowerment really comes from no one. Empowerment does not come from the government. That's the one thing that they cannot give you. They can give you a whole lot of free things, but they can't give you empowerment, and they never will be able to. A network does not give you empowerment. Facebook does not give you empowerment. Twitter does not give you empowerment. Your followers does not give you empowerment. You give yourself empowerment. But I do want to thank you for following me on social media and helping me through a time that I've had, because it's you guys that have been there through me, through thick and thin, and said, guess what, I might not agree with her, but at least she had the guts to stand up and say, I'm not going to take it. Because as young women, I got to tell you, whether it's liberals or conservatives or libertarians or atheists, or it doesn't matter what it is, you will encounter people that think that you're going to back down because you're a woman. Now, that's not you being a victim, but people think that you'll back down. They think that you just don't have the strength of character. They think that you'll just go away. Never go away, ever. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself in your college classrooms, in your high school classrooms. Stand up for yourself at your first job, your second job, your third job. Stand up for yourself on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook and YouTube. Stand up for yourself, because I'll tell you, at least you can look at yourself and have an ounce of integrity, because you didn't bend and you didn't break. So remember that. But I do want to take some questions, because I know that it's kind of a difficult time to be a conservative woman sometimes, and you know, I see it all the time. A lot of you come up to me and say, I'm in a liberal university. Well, let's be honest, what university is not liberal at this point? Right? So there's a lot of them, but they have a difficult time combating your friends. Many of you probably lost friends because you're afraid to say that, hey, I'm a conservative. Some of you, by show of hands, how many of you would not tell some of your friends that you were coming here today to do this? Raise your hand. Wow. Because they would tell, I have no idea what they would say. And that's the sad part. But I told a young lady this the other night. I don't know if she's here, but she came to meet me at the Rustic. And she said, Tomi, I'm a fan of yours. I do graphic design, and I made this for you. And it was a wonderful picture, and it said, stay triggered, snowflakes. And I'm going to use that. But I said, why don't you post that? Like, it's awesome. I would love to retweet it. And she said, I don't want my friends to know that I like you. I don't want my friends to know. And there she is. Sorry, everyone's looking at you now. Hey, secret's out. But she said, I don't want my friends to know that I like you. I don't want my friends to know that I'm a conservative. Well, BS. You will find out who your friends are when you be yourself. And that doesn't even mean being a conservative, a liberal, an independent, a libertarian. No matter what you are, you find out who your friends are, you can tell them what you believe in and have some integrity. So I hope that you'll find the strength to do that. But whatever I can do, any questions that I can ask, no, I'm not going to talk about the lawsuit. Unless you want to dance around it a little bit, then we can talk a little bit about it, because it ended well for me. But I know that there are microphones around, and I will let the almighty Turning Point people find you if there are microphones, and if not. Just use my, I think that might be microphone pass around, and I kind of like listening to myself talk sometimes. All right.
Hello, Tomi Lahren. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Do good. So I do have a question. Why do we as women have always fought for our rights?
Why do we always have to fight for our rights? I think we all have to fight for our rights each and every single day. I mean, that's part of being American. You're going to fight for your rights. You're going to fight for your rights with the liberals that want to give them away. You're going to fight for your rights at the state level, the city level. You're going to fight for your rights in college campuses. So I don't think it's exclusive to women. But hey, if conservative women, we need to fight a little bit harder. I think that we're willing to put in that work. And, you know, here's the thing about feminism. The liberals, they ruin everything and they take everything from us. Like, they ruin everything. It's like feminism. At its core, when you talk about feminism, what it is equal rights. I think we can all say, like, yeah, I'd like to have equal rights. I'd like to own property. I'd like to be able to get divorced. I'd like to be able to make as much as a man. I think we're all in the same boat where we would appreciate equal rights. But the problem with the damn feminists is that they turn equal into special, and then they make the rest of us look bad because they say, I want to be equal, but I also want to be special. I also want to have special things. I want to have special centers. I want to have special days. I want to have special marches. Everything is special, but then they say and they claim that they want equality. You can't have both. You're either special or equal, and that goes for every group. So I hope as women we can remember that, because we are... if every parent would tell their kids this too, honey, you're special to me, but not to the rest of the world, I think we'd start getting somewhere. You don't get a trophy by way of existence.
Hi, Tomi.
Hi.
I'm just going to ask the question that we're all thinking. Where is your blazer from?
Hush. I don't even know, to be honest with you. I'm like an online shopper. I have a shopping problem. I really do. Like, buying clothes is my most exciting thing in life, but I don't even remember. But I can tell you where my shirt is from. It says they call me Savage, and it's my official Team Tomi stuff, and all that is actually right over there. If you see my name, I've got all my tank tops over there, all my Team Tomi, all my Faith, Family, Freedom, all the stuff you see me on Instagram. I'm so excited that they're out here. So I hope that you guys will all go grab a tank top, because they're great, and I wear them like literally every weekend. And you know what? On a tangent, that's actually not so good sometimes, because sometimes when you're in hostile territory and you wear your hat and you try not to be recognized, and then people are like, are you Tomi? And you're like trying to size them up immediately, like, is this person going to kill me? And then you think, should I tell them I'm Tomi or should I not? And then you realize, well, shit, my name is on my shirt. So, cat's out of the bag, but hey, you can defend yourself. That's what the Second Amendment's for, I suppose. All right, where's my next question? Awesome.
Hi, I just want to say first, I'm a huge fan. Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
I've had many friends like unfriend me and block me because I'll repost something and I'll be like, okay, whatever, bye. But my question is, how do you, like, as such a strong and independent woman, stand up for yourself and stay rooted in your values when you have thousands, millions, hundreds of thousands comments a day coming in telling you like you're terrible, et cetera, which is not true.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Well, you know what, here's what I've learned, and I tell this to a lot of young women, whether you're trying to be on the social media stage or whatever you are, or just existing in normal life. The moment that you start getting haters, you're doing something, because no one cares. I mean, if people just think you're relevant and they don't care what you're saying, it's because you're not really speaking truth and they pass you by. If you're saying something, the truth hurts, and people lash out at the truth. But you stand up and you say, I know what I'm doing, I know what I believe in, I'm not going to back down, I'm not going to exist on a list of talking points either, I'm going to be myself. And that's the most important quality. And for some reason, I was born with this fearlessness, and I hope that everyone can kind of reach out and grab that within themselves and find your fearlessness, because I tell you, when you have no fear, life is so much better, because you really don't care, and you keep your circle small, and you make sure that your voice is heard, and that at the end of the day you can look at yourself and say, you know what, a lot of people hate me, but a lot more people support me. So I promise you'll find that as soon as you speak your mind. All right, where's my next one?
Hi, Tomi. You freaking rule, girl.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hey, I have a question. So I think social media is a bit, obviously it's all about aesthetics, kind of fraudulent, fake, but do you think a leader should be on social media?
I do. Well, if we're talking about, are we talking about Donald Trump or just anyone?
Like me, I want to be the next president, or in 7 years. But
All
I'm not on
right.
social media, but like my audience is there.
I think you need to be. I think you need
Yeah.
to be on social media. I mean, you don't have to be if you don't want to be, but you know, the thing, and even comparing that to Donald Trump, is like, why is he on Twitter? Why does he tweet? It's like, if he didn't tweet, CNN would have nothing to talk about. I swear, I've sat on the airport before and I watched CNN and they cover two things: climate change and Russia. And that's really it. And they say, well, back in 2005, Trump tweeted this. I'm thinking, you guys, seriously? Like, do you guys just go back and read tweets all day? But I think it's important because we're going to fight this conservative battle really on three fronts. The first is the state and local level, and that sounds boring. It's not really that fun. But for those that want to get involved in politics, state and local means a lot, and it's very important. So state and local is one of the battles. We have to make sure the grassroots are strong. The second one is the mainstream media. We need to be fighting there, and we may never get a fair shake. But the nice thing about the mainstream media is they're hurting themselves on a daily basis with all their crap. So eventually it's going to get easier, and we're going to have a few disruptors that are going to come in and say, the mainstream's great, but we're going to infiltrate it and we're going to change it. But then the third is of course, college campuses. And that's why Turning Point is so important. But we fight those on three fronts. And the reason I think it's important to be on social media and do what I do, like on Facebook, not just because, you know, you get fired and you have to be on Facebook in your bedroom still getting millions of views, so I don't care. But you know, I think you have to be on social media to get the word out, because the mainstream media is never going to cover us fairly. They're never really going to give us any attention. So being able to break those barriers and find our people, because there's so many of us out there, but find our people. Social media is a great tool for that, and they can have all the algorithms they want, but if we have a following, we have enough of us behind it, we're unstoppable. We really are. So I'd get on social media, start tweeting. It's fun. You're getting addicted to it, but spell check, because then you have like a Kofifi moment. But you just spin it. It's whatever. All right. Where's the... Oh, awesome.
Hi, I love you so much,
Thank
by the
you
way.
so much.
Okay, so what's your opinion on the UK terrorist attacks and how their open border policies and failing to recognize radical Islamic terrorism creates more opportunity for lives lost?
Oh boy, I'm glad you asked me about that one. Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to say it's nice to have a president that acknowledged that it is radical Islamic terror. So there, when we name the enemy, there's the first one. Here's the deal. I mean, we can compare it to a family situation, or even if you have your friends over. Here's the difference in what's going on in Europe, and for the life of me, I don't understand why they do not see the pattern here. The thing about when they have the refugees, most of us are Christians in this room, we want to be open, we want to bring in refugees, but you have to take care of home first. And when you have refugees or you have immigrants coming in and they refuse to assimilate, that's not an immigration, that's an invasion. When someone comes to your house and says, I'm going to come into your house, but I'm going to play by my rules, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. It doesn't work in the USA, and it won't under this president. But in Europe, it is working, because they are infiltrating and they're saying, no, we're going to come in and we're going to make this continent our continent, and you're going to follow our rules. We're going to establish Sharia. It's called civilization jihad, and it's what they're doing. They're not going to get you by terrorist attack. They're going to get you by coming in and flooding in and changing the whole culture and the landscape. And they're going to do it because people are too afraid of being called names to speak out and say enough of this crap. And they're losing their culture, and it's sad. Why they don't understand that, why they can't see what's happening, I don't understand. Why they think that this has to be something that occurs on a daily basis. You shouldn't have to walk down the street and be afraid you're going to get rammed by a truck. You shouldn't have to be going shopping at Christmas time and be worried that you're going to get stabbed or raped or molested. You shouldn't have to do that. That will not happen in this country under this president. But I really wish Europe would figure their crap out, because I tell you, if they don't, they're going to lose their culture, and it's such a rich culture and history. It's really too bad. But I mean, I also have to give it to, in the United States of America, the local law enforcement, because they're going to fight this battle more than anyone. So the first responders, local law enforcement, they see it and they're around it, and they have to understand the threat. But I do feel safer in this country under this president. At least he acknowledges that we do have a threat. Where's my next? Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, Tommy. My question is, what's the most important thing you've learned being a conservative in the media? I'm a journalism major, and I don't even trust the media, and I feel like any potential employer will dismiss me if they know my personal viewpoints.
Sure. Own the narrative. Own it. And you know, that's true, that is gonna happen. I mean, even for me, I do an interview. Like, I did an interview, I don't know if you guys saw it, with British GQ, and I spent an entire day with these people, and they were so nice, and they were joking around with me. I was even acquiring their accent. It was great. And then afterwards, after they spent a whole day with me, and I took them around and spent almost the whole night with them, then the article comes out where they call me White Power Barbie, and how my right-wing vitriol is gonna destroy this country. First of all, you're in the UK, you got bigger problems. But beyond that, it's gonna happen. I mean, we have to control our narrative. That's why I think social media is so important, because they can say whatever they want about you, they can do whatever they want, but if you can own your own narrative and stand up, you can beat it back and you can clear through the clutter. And it's gonna be hard. I mean, I was just in LA yesterday meeting with agents talking about what's next for me and what I wanna do, and everyone's like, yeah, you know, MTV or VH1, that'd be a good place, E would be a good place, Bravo would be a good place, and I said, I don't think you understand. I'm a conservative, and that scares the hell out of some people. Even as much as they like you, as much as they like your views, as much as they like that you're feisty or you're attractive or you're photogenic, at the end of the day, they're terrified by conservatives. And it's not because they really believe that we're racist, bigot, sexist, intolerant. It's because we're right, and they know it, and they don't want to give us an audience. Because you start giving us an audience, and we're going to amass a bigger audience. So I would say be fearless and find it within yourself, because you'll cut through, and you'll be one of the only ones that does it. So you'll find more success. That's worked for me. So I would encourage you to stay strong. Keep fighting back. Let's see.
Tommy.
Where's my next one? I don't see where.
That was the last question.
That was the last question.
Oh, there's got to be one more. There's got to be one more. Okay, she's got. You got me. All right.
Well, I wanted to mention the view because obviously that's on a lot of people's minds.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Mic'd up. Okay. Do you think that they're ever going to get over the fact that he won the election and even maybe give him credit for the things he's done well, or do you think Joy Behar and Whoopi are just going to keep going on their narrative and trying to push people in one direction anti-Trump?
They will never get over it. They really never will. But you know what? Lucky for us, it's called Trump derangement syndrome, and the more that they do it, they are basically ushering him in for 2020. That's what they're doing. They call us all names. I don't know about you guys, but I am really sick and tired of the left telling me that I am intolerant, that I'm a bigot, that I'm a racist, that I'm a sexist, that I'm a deplorable. No, bull. I'm a conservative, an independent thinker, and I love this country, and we all love this country. Don't let them call you names. That's what they love to do, but their labels, they don't work. They don't work in Texas, they don't work in California, they don't work in Florida, they don't work in New York City. They don't work if we don't let them work. That's the biggest thing, though. Do not cower down. If the biggest thing that you're afraid of is being called a name, then life is going to be tough for you, because you're going to get called names all the time. So if you stop talking and you get back in the corner because some bully said, you know, you're a racist, or you're a bigot, or you're a sexist, or you're a redneck. If someone calls you names and you go, oh, geez, you know, I got to get out, people are attacking me. They win every time. Stand your ground. They will back down, and you will win every time. That's what this president did, and that's where he is. But I think that they're telling me I have to leave, unfortunately. I'm actually headed to Las Vegas. We'll see how that is. Good people there, though. Good people. Thank you guys for being here. And also, thank you to Charlie Kirk, because he put this all together. He got you all here. He's amazing. Thank you guys so much. And please do stop over. You see my name. Get my t-shirts, get my tank tops. They're awesome. You sleep in them. You do whatever you want in them. You might get attacked for it, but it'd make for a great story. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.